Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As I was about to title today's video, here to showcase the secret that nobody has told you about the Myplayer builder in NBA 2K24. So, what I want to talk about in today's video is going to be that certain attributes become more expensive if you put more investment into a certain category. So the two variable builds that we have right here is going to be my 6'10 pure inside kind of model that we have right here, where as you can see we have a lot of points invested in the standing dunk, driving dunk, and driving layup. And I'm going to show you that the more you have invested into this, the more expensive something like post control becomes. Now, I don't know if you guys have picked up on this or not. It's very likely that not many of you have, but some of you may already know about something like this. But what sparked my idea of knowing about this the most was that I've been helping with my boys like Tonic and Joey, who make stretch builds like this, of being really low on the wingspan and being like really high on the mid-range for the 93 midi to get like Hoff catch and shoot. You got all types of badges invested into this as well along the way. So we end up with builds like this. But now what I want to show you, I'm going to use a very clear and easy to understand example. We're going all the way down until the point of where we hit 97 overall. So you can see if I drop the interior defense, that's putting us right at the cusp of 97. Now watch what post control does if we go from 39 all the way to maxing it out. On this build that has less investment into the driving dunk, standing dunk, you know, driving lays, close shot, all that stuff like that. If we go from the 39 post control all the way up, you're going to go to 93 where it maxes out at. Now peep what it does with the pure inside build. So mind you, we're going to go all the way down to the point of where we can put the build to a minimum 97 overall. Now we also will spot it giving that 39 post control, so let's just get that up there, and then obviously we'll go ahead and just go down on whatever we can to be able to control that, going down to the lowest 97 overall, which will be right here at 50 pass ac. So now when we go all the way up on the post control on this build, it maxes out at 69. And as you can see, that was the exact same level that I just mentioned that we were showcasing on the builds overall. So again, they both had 39 post control. They were both minimum 97 overall builds, where as soon as I take it up to that extra rating right here, it goes to 97. They both started at 39, but the pure inside maxes out with the remaining points at 69, whereas the pure outside build maxes out at 93 post control. So I wanted to make you guys aware of this if you're wondering how this builder works and why you can't get things like a high post control to be able to get good unpluckable on a build that you already had great dunk, great standing dunk, and for that matter, if you're going more of a pure slasher route as well, the more you put into this close shot, the more expensive the post control will become too. Now I wanted to see if weight and wingspan may be a factor in this as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to showcase one that has the exact same weight as this build over here with a 6'10 minimum wingspan, 265, and as you're going to see, it pretty much works the exact same way, where, you know, if we go ahead and drop the pass accuracy down to, let's say, where we're at the minimum 97, and then I put the post control to 39, same way we just had it, it's gonna result out in pretty much the exact same way. So as you can see, we go back down once again to the minimum 97. It's gonna set us up right here, and then it results to pretty much the same thing as what we had with the 238 weight, where it was pretty much the exact same thing, you know, as far as the results with that. All right, so now let's showcase that wingspan is not a factor in this either, and it's gonna prove that it really is my theory of the more you have invested into finishing, the more expensive other things in finishing become. And it's not just a post scoring, like it's not just a post control equals cheaper for lower wingspans or lower weights than it is for higher wingspans or heavier weights. So with this build right here, we have a 6'10", 239, 6'10 wingspan. With this one, we have a 6'10", 239 with a 7'8 wingspan. So let's go ahead and do that little post control theory of the same thing. We're going to drop every attribute that we need to get to a minimum 97 overall. As you can see, it's going to be right about here, and just to prove it, boom, interior defense. So there we go. And once again, they're going to be both moving from 39 post control all the way up to whatever they can max out at. So for this one, it's 68. It's the same thing as our other pure inside build, obviously, which was, you know, the same as what it was with the max wingspan. And now to come over here to the 6'10", 239 with the max wingspan, once again, do the exact same thing, drop it down to a minimum 97 pass accuracy, and boom, yada yada, drop the interior to prove it. We're at the same level as always, and as you can see, 68 post control. So wingspan, weight, they don't play any factor in this at all. It's just the theory of exactly what I told you guys, of the more you have invested into a similar category, aka anything in blue right here, it's going to make post control more expensive if you have it high. So once again, just to kind of hit a little refresher for you guys, it's the minimum that you can get to a 97 overall. This is on an outside build, so as you can see, the post control goes even higher. It's just naturally how this works, and I think it's kind of crazy that this is a thing. I don't think it should become more expensive to heavily invest in similar categories. I think you shouldn't punish people for being a pure defender or a pure slasher. It's a little bit harder to acknowledge something like this when it comes to the ball handling or the shooting aspects, because obviously with these, there's only like two categories that truly play factor into that, between three-point or mid-range. Same with ball handling, there's only like three of them: pass ac, ball handle, speed with ball. Whereas for finishing, there is 5 different categories, and then for defense, there's even 6. Also, if you guys didn't know, I'm pairing up with the NBA 2K Lab this year, so you can use code LAKER for 20% off at checkout at their website. That's NBA2KLab.com. On this website is all types of really good statistical jump shot information. You can also test the jumpers on their website too. Plug the controller straight into your phone or to your PC. You can get early, green, late. It'll tell you where you need to adjust on that jump shot. Or if you don't know what jumper you want to run, you just go to their jump shot recommender. You punch in your height, the jump shot rating that you're working with, and then based on the milliseconds of timing that you get, it'll recommend you a jump shot. So again, if you want to use code LAKER for 20% off at checkout, that's NBA2KLab.com. Appreciate you guys, and we'll get back to the video. And again, to show you what I was trying to get at here with the initial idea in the first place, the 85 post control is a very cool thing to go for, off the fact that you can get unpluckable at a really good level. This is not my exact 610 by any means. On mine, it has a high enough ball handle for bronze unpluckable, but I just wanted to really try and get it to a decent level of post control, and to be able to get it to an extremely high level, as you can see, we'd have to go extremely low on the overall, like to get to the similar 92 post control that we're talking about. And as you can see, this is what the build would have to downsize to. It's just kind of crazy that if you kind of do all the math on it of how to get to that 93 post control from a 39, it technically costs you about 2 more overall points, if not even technically 3. So anyway, we'll keep this video short for this one, but as you can see, just to kind of prove my point, it's going to be really hard to get something like a gold unpluckable on a build that you want to be kind of more of a dribbling slasher that can still do it all in the paint, and make it even more expensive if you were to upgrade close shot even further too. And long story short, it's very hard to be a pure archetype if it's not just a pure sharp or like a ball handler, essentially. That's why you do see more people capable of making, let's say, like a playmaking sharpshooter, where it has heavy investment into the playmaking and shooting, but very minimal investment into the finishing and defense. So it's very interesting to even find information like this. I haven't like diligently mastered this or looked at how deep in this can go in terms of the best thresholds to try and balance between all this stuff, but it even goes further of talking about how the type of stretch bigs that we have Tonic and Joey make, they're very minimal investment into the finishing, as far as like it's just 65 driving dunk, 45 standing dunk. That's enough for, and not to mention, let's just even do this as well. We don't have to really talk about how this is going to be one where we're talking about different heights and positions and stuff like that, but let's talk about standing dunk cost. So let's use this as an example. So I'm going to use this exact build of showing you how expensive it's going to be to go from 25 standing dunk to 65 standing dunk on this build. Then we'll compare how expensive it is to do on a guard that has very little on its finishing in total. So if you go from 25 standing to 65 standing, we're going from, remind you, a 91 overall right here all the way up to a 94. So that's going to be an overall of pretty much 3. We'll call it like 3.5, I guess, if you want to be technical, but for the most part, it's just 3 overall. So let's use something very different, which is going to be like a 6'4", minimum wingspan, pure sharp, and then compare how expensive that is to get to 65. Standing dunk, as you can see, it costs literally nothing. Look at how much that bar is moving in terms of you on the minimum versus maximum, and it's insane how little it moves. I mean, if you're just looking at the green bar in that comparison, it's like ridiculous how much cheaper it is. So that's why when I talk about things like, for instance, even interior defense, obviously if I go past this, it starts to upgrade the strength. But with a build that has very low defense, it becomes extremely cheap to be upgrading these low levels of interior D where it doesn't upgrade anything else, because as you can see, it's very minimal investment into the defense. And I never understood that until very recently, that's the reason why it costs so much less on a build like this that has such little investment on that. And then that's why it does cost quite a bit to upgrade 25 interior defense on a pure lock build, because that's just how it's going to be. So as far as our, comparison on that, again, it's more so just talking about, look at how ridiculously cheap it is to upgrade these things on a build that has minimal investment. So it's really as simple as that. So anyway, that is all for our video as far as like kind of trying to prove this theory and how it works, as far as like the post control between the inside big versus the outside big, the driving standing dunk versus like a pure slasher versus a more outside guard. And if you guys want to test these theories out, let me know in the comments any more that you can come up with as far as like showing things about defense, things about maybe even physicals as well. Feel free to do so, but I wanted to bring this to your attention so you can at least apply it to your sessions in the builder, as far as like understanding why some things are so much more expensive than others, and it's all due to the kind of neighboring investments as far as the type of attribute points you're looking at. So just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. And like always, try to 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, pretty short one for that matter, you can put attribute in the comment search bar all the way through. But anyway, that's all. Appreciate you guys watching, and take it easy, man. Peace.